Hey everybody, alright, so back again to present you with another pair of Oakley sunglasses. I recently purchased the Shaun White Signature Series Holbrook. It comes in a green box, not really sure why, but it is green. As you can see, Shaun White Signature Series sunglasses. It comes with a kind of a cool texture, that kind of slanted, angled, or it's going that way, texture, and it is a square O series sunglasses. The Holbrook, the Dispatch, the gas cans, all those are square O series. Usually they're lifestyle. You won't see a square O on any of their sport or performance lenses or frames like the Jawbone, the Radar, which I have, the M frame. You'll see the more oval O. But it is a square O series. So taking it out of the box, you have your Shaun White Holbrook Signature Series micro bag with sunglasses. We'll get to that in a minute. Just real quick, another thing, you have like a mailing list type thing you can fill out, send back, and you also have your warranty and a cool little bit of info. This whole thing actually is not English. It only like this little bit right here is English. The rest is in a bunch of different languages. But it basically shows all the light indexes on all of these lenses. So that's kind of cool. All the lenses they make, it gives the amount of light that passes through the lens, which is kind of nice. Just kind of an interesting little bit of information. So keep that there. So now you have your Shaun White Signature Series micro bag. You can see it says Holbrook, and it has Shaun White on it. And then you have your signature on the back. Obviously not his real signature. And just the Western style, I think kind of a cactus Western theme. The Holbrook I think is a town or a city in Arizona that Shaun White kind of modeled this idea of this Holbrook sunglasses after. Kind of a vintage, kind of a what do you call it? An outlaw type, badass frame looking thing. It's vintage. It's just all around a badass lens and frame combination for the Signature Series. And the Holbrook itself, just the standard Holbrooks, are definitely badass. But first off, with the Shaun Whites, everything is gold. You have gold icons, square O's. You have these gold accents right here. These two little buttons. I don't really think they're functional. They're just little accents in the front. And then obviously the 24 karat iridium lens, which is absolutely gorgeous. The frame itself is really, really comfy, extremely lightweight. It is a bent stem, so it does go behind the ears a little bit, which is kind of nice, keeps it on your head a little better. It does have the Shaun White signature inside the frame, which is also very cool. Adds a little style, and then it will say Made in the USA and Holbrook on the inside of the frame. You won't be able to see it, but from my camera, but it is in there. So just to give you guys an idea of what they look like on, this is what they look like. A little more of a square frame than as opposed to the Jupiter or the Frog Skins. The Frog Skins are a little bit smaller. The Jupiters are a little more curved, and they're they're about as big as this. They're a little more beefed up on the stems. I think they have kind of a little more of curvature to them, but the frames, you don't really find any bigger of a lens coverage other than the Dispatch, which in my opinion is too big anyway. I don't really think the Dispatch fits many faces, but overall, just getting back to the Holbrook, talking just specifically about the Holbrook, it is an absolutely solid frame. And I bought this Shaun White Signature Series for $130 at my local Oakley store, which they don't have many across the United States. I'm lucky enough to have one, which is kind of nice. But they are really cheap, just like the Frog Skins and the Jupiters. Usually these lifestyle frames with your square O's aren't real expensive. Once you get into the sport frames, those start to get a little more pricey. But as far as the Holbrook goes, you get really good coverage. It doesn't wrap obviously too much. This is a pretty flat lens, but it does wrap a little bit, and there is really no glare coming in from the corners, or at least none that, you know, is enough to bother. And as far as polarized go with these, I've never tried on a pair of polarized, or at least not that I know of. I was thrown on a few pairs, but I didn't really take into account if they were polarized or not. But as far as I can tell, with this lens, the 24 karat iridium, it is dark. And if you go outside, you can look almost right into the sun, and it's not going to hurt. They're great for a really sunny day, so they're not like a fire iridium where it makes things kind of pop. They do have contrast to them, but they don't really make the light pop. So they have really a good darkening effect. You would maybe think that at first I was afraid to buy, even though they were so cool. I wanted more of a darker lens that would give me more protection, but this really does. It really, the 24 karat iridium, I can't say enough about. It is very dark. It keeps a lot of the glare out, and it's perfect just for a non-polarized, but yet very, very dark for non-polarized. So if you're going for a lens that's not polarized, but you still want glare coverage and to cut all that glare out and it to be a nice dark lens, you know, you would want to go with this lens right here, maybe a black iridium, you know, those dark lenses. But this is definitely, in my opinion, a dark lens, even though it is really flashy in style, but very functional when it comes to cutting glare. So really, really, really cool pair of sunglasses. I love the Holbrooks. I really can't say enough about them. I've already gotten tons of compliments on these ones. I would highly suggest them. They're, you know, I mean, compared to some, Oakley's dirt cheap. I mean, and it doesn't get much more style than this. So if you're going for style, it's obviously not a sport frame. You're not going to go running with these on. But if it's, you know, it's kind of a just walk around, you know, wherever that day, or go out just to dinner or something. You know, driving, I love them when I'm driving. The radars are a little much when I'm driving because they do hug a little bit, and sometimes they can tend to be a little bit hard to adjust. Sometimes they'll get kind of, I don't know, I'll touch them and they'll get a little off, and then I have to adjust them. But these sit nice and perfect, and they don't hug too much. They just sit really nice for like stuff like driving, if you had to slip them on and off real quick. Obviously, if you have oh god, I forget the technical name for it, but basically the rubberized stuff, that really special rubber that Oakley has on their ear socks on all their performance frames, it can get kind of awkward to keep pulling it on and off because it'll just drag, and if you have, you know, gel in your hair or something, you don't want to mess that up, whatever. You know, this is perfect for that because it won't mess anything up, and it's perfect to just slip on and off whenever you want, however many times you want. It's really just a loose frame, but once it's on, it sits perfect. So really, really badass pair of sunglasses. I would highly suggest them. And let me know what you guys think. Thank you.